Welcome back to Eyewitness to History, our Citrus Bowl special. Greg Warmoth with a special panel that we've put together to answer some of your questions and my questions. We have Steve Hogan, the president of Florida Citrus Sports. Sean Snaith, he's a PhD in economics at UCF. Larry Guest, who's an award-winning author, bestsellers, and worked with the Orlando Sentinel for 28 years. You were a must-read every morning. And then we have Rich Maladecki. He has served as president and CEO of the Central Florida Hotel and Lodging Association. Can we survive with these big games without some major changes to the Citrus Bowl?
I don't think there's any question that we can't. We're just a nonprofit tenant that books business in there, regular season neutral site games, bowl games, much like anybody else in the business that uses that as a facility. Like a convention center, we just need a place to do our business and then let Orlando win with everything else that it has, hotels and attractions and all the wonderful weather and things like that that are going to help us beat Dallas and Atlanta and Charlotte and Tampa and Jacksonville for all the things that we want in Orlando. So I don't think there's any question that what we have left will be gone if we don't fix it.
Can we economically in these times afford to do this?
I mean, that's the challenge, obviously. I think that the challenge is finding the revenue to pay for the upgrade. And with the economy and the recovery as sluggish as it's been, this is problematic. But, you know, we've got theme parks and we've got a brand and we are a destination. You know, Cinderella needed a new dress to go to the ball. And you know, I think that analogy extends to the Citrus Bowl. I think if we upgrade it, continue to build on that as part of a plan to diversify the economy, we're going to be better off in the long run for it. But you know, where does the money come from? I mean, really, it comes down to the brass tacks there. And hopefully the recovery will start to gain some momentum and some of those tax revenues will pick up and we can go ahead and get the job done.
Governor Scott just commissioned a report that every 85 visitors to Florida equals one new job. And so if we can get this stadium rolling per the original agreement back in '07, then we're going to be able to maintain and grow jobs. Because the nicety of a new stadium is, or a renovated stadium is, not only will we have the two games we're speaking of today, but we will be able to, as a community, go forward and attract other games to that venue.
That money spreads throughout our economy. It doesn't just stay in leisure and hospitality.
Does it make sense, though? Spend this kind of money, have 3 venues at $1 billion that aren't paid for?
Well, you know, you have to think longer term. And right now, yes, we're in a difficult environment. There are too many people out of work. Job creation has been too slow. But what's the future hold? And we don't want to be myopic about these things. Investing in the economy, making expenditures that pay off in the future. And we're struggling with that because tax revenues are low. We're unwilling to raise taxes in some cases. So we're not spending the money on infrastructure, education, or projects like this.
Someone once told me that a columnist's job is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. Do you think columnists like yourself will hammer the Orange County and the City of Orlando and the leadership if they sign off on sending this money this way in this economy? Will they have the vision to do it and risk potentially some political backlash?
I would applaud the government entities to advancing this project. You know, I'd hate to see us fall back into the situation where we'd need a zonies or something like that to peddle tickets.
It's not just about the bowls either. You know, this is a facility, much like the convention center is a facility for us to bring tourism, bring money, bring jobs to our communities. So the stadium is much like when the convention center used to be downtown as the Expo Center, if you all remember. We could never land a 90,000 person PGA show or 80,000 person plastics convention down here in Orlando with the Expo Center. Well, we're competing in the Expo Center right now for business. It's about 750,000 people becoming 1.5 million people through a proper facility.
Yeah.
We've watched Orlando talk about things,
Right.
but then lose them to other cities.
Right. Any members of the media who would cling to that myopic thinking, well, why do we need a stadium for one game a year, just aren't looking at the infinite possibilities. And, you know, they're not doing their homework to see what all stadium renovation or advancement would mean to the city.
What is the timetable? I mean, how urgent is this?
We were supposed to start the renovation in 2009, which clearly with the collapse of the economy has been delayed. We're now at a point where the tourist tax revenue is such that it's flowed back into the venue's pots. So you can start now with an intelligent debate about when can we put a shovel on the ground. And I think we're really asking, when we go back to the negotiating table late next year in September, We need to be able to look our partners around the country in the eye and say, it's not, hey, hang in there with us for a little while longer. It's now been 8 years of that. We need to say, here's when and here's how, and you can believe us, you can trust us, you can stay with us. This is going to get done.
You're talking about the conference commissioners and the BCS committee at
NFL
teams.
teams.
You can't go back to them again.
Right, that's right.
And convince them, well, you ought to hang with us, even though Tampa's got a wonderful stadium and Jacksonville's got a wonderful stadium.
All those people keep asking, when? When? We've been hearing this for over a decade. When?
The urgency of the situation, once it's recognized, will prompt some action. And it's not clear to me that the public at large realizes that we are on the precipice here and that this has been delayed too long and what the potential losses are.
I'm going to say it's going to happen. We have to, as a community, embrace it to happen because it goes back to jobs. It goes back to the importance of our tourism-based economy. We're not a Pittsburgh or a Detroit with factories. We're tourism, and we need to embrace the importance of all aspects of tourism, including sports tourism.
We're going to reach our arms around everybody that wants to and say, is it too much to ask to say, let's talk about when, not irresponsibly now, let's talk about when and illustrate a way forward to save what we have left.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. And thank you for watching Eyewitness History, our Citrus Bowl special. We'll have many more stories on this coming up throughout the year on Eyewitness News. Take care.